Diffs. G'day everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit of just a talking video. Now in front of us we have the bee's knees when it comes to GU housing. So Brandon here is these Diffs are going in his GQ. So they are, of course, they are GU Diffs, and he's literally just finished building them. They're both locked, and I decided this video I might just sort of go over it, and Brandon has a bunch of little tips and tricks, basically cost ideas, how much everything costs, all stuff like that to do with GU Diffs. So we'll probably start out with the front one since it's right in front of us. So I reckon we'll start from the center and work our way out.
We'll start
with the housing.
Where we have it. Superior Engineering. I could have made one myself.
The brace kit.
The brace kit. It's not, right now it's not worth it for me. So obviously it was a no-brainer. Superior Engineering, they do great work. Sit it straight in, tack it up, and weld it up. Know what you're doing if you're going to tackle this project by yourself. I reckon get a qualified welder, like myself, because they can bend. Luckily, there's some strategies to keep it not from bending, but see a professional, you get it all done professionally, I suppose.
Pretty right. So another thing is, you may see a lot of other people, when they're doing all the bracing, they do strip welding?
Just stitches, but they don't fully weld.
So Brandon's one here is fully welded out all the way along. Is there a reason for that?
Not really. Mainly, I don't want water in there. You could stitch it and then run silicone over it, I suppose. You know what you're doing, it's no problem.
Beautiful. So working the way out of these gussets here. So you have a little trick here for the gussets that go underneath the knuckles. So what happened there?
So I did them with the knuckle pop, right? They're not quite, what would you say, centered to the knuckle, well, to the swivel.
They're not exactly centered to the swivel knuckle. So basically, when he turns full lock, it actually hits the knuckle before he reaches full lock. So he's have to shorten the turning radius of just like a couple mil. But just little things like that is something to look out for. So he recommends welding these little gussets on with the actual swivel knuckle on there, so you can see at full lock if it's going to hit or not. Tack it in place, take it off, and then weld it all up.
Which is it's a learning curve for me. First one I ever done, but you just lose a little bit of steering, not a big deal, I don't think, until it is, I suppose.
Yeah.
Find out the hard way.
I mean, the turning circle's pretty good anyway, so not much to worry about there. I reckon next we'll talk about the center. So you just set this up today with the air locker in it, set up the backlash and everything.
Yep.
What was your experience doing a lockup all install on your own?
Pretty simple, I think. There's those instructions there, sort of kind of half useful, like any other instruction manual, I suppose. But if you know what you're doing, you're pretty handy. They're pretty straightforward.
Another little thing with ARB is they actually won't allow you, what were you saying? They don't allow you to give you the actual center?
So they do the whole thing, or they don't do the job at all. So it's either you drive in, drive out, or they just give you the locker and you either go to a diff shop and get it done there, and then you can install it in your car, or you do it yourself like I have. You just do it from start to finish.
And that has the reason with, of course, if they do the locker install in the diff correctly, but for whatever reason you may bump something when installing it back in, it sort of covers them. So of course, they don't like doing the job just with the center. They'd rather pull it out of the diff themselves, build it, and put it back in themselves, so no start to finish. If there's any issues, it's on them. So if you do want to do this job through ARB, you're going to have to just drive in and drive out, which of course will have a cost to that. Did they give you a cost at all?
I didn't want to know.
Didn't want to know?
Didn't want to know.
Lockers are already pretty expensive as is, so if you can save a bit of coin by someone you know that can build them for you, I'd say that's the way to go. Speaking of pricing, Brandon's gone through the effort of either refurbishing any parts that are on here, new bearings, new seals, new axles, everything. How much would you say to rebuild this front was?
Just the front?
Just the front.
With the locker, I don't know, around about your three grand mark. Now that's almost every bolt they've been redone, brand new from control part. Yeah, you're looking around about the 3 grand mark, I think. If you can get in that, again, that just depends on what housing you get. Like, some they do vary. If you get a shit housing that needs some work, you might spend a bit more. Or you might get lucky and get pretty good housing that doesn't need that much done to it. That is also with the brace kit as well.
Yeah. So brace kit, all new bearings, locker, brakes, you're looking at around 2 to 3 grand, depending of course on your housing. If you buy a full housing that comes with the swivel hubs and axles and a center and a CVs, then you're gonna be set back a little bit more in price. Me and Brian were both able to find housings on their own without centers because we already had some centers. But the housings we picked up for around $200, but they can range from anywhere between $200 to $1,000 depending.
You can also get front and rear, which generally around about 2 grand mark with everything. Brakes, calipers.
Up in Gosford, there's a few wreckers that sell the front and rear complete as is right now. Not like this, of course, just pulled straight out the bottom of a GU wagon or a ute and sold straight off with the old rotors of everything, 2 grand. So that'll give you a good jump start, and if you don't want to buy everything new, you can refurbish it, spend a few hours just every day working a little bit by little, which is what Brandon's been doing. So in terms of hours put into just the front still, how many hours would you say?
It's hard to say. I've been at this for on and off for 6 months, so obviously I've got a full-time job building my company. That takes most of the time really. It'd take easily a full couple of weeks, I think, to get to this stage, if you didn't have to wait for parts as well.
Yep. So in terms of just build phase, you'd have to do all your welding over time, because if you just...
That's a full day.
Yeah, it's a full day just in welding.
Just one boat, just full 8 hours.
Just to be careful not to bend the housing or banana or anything like that. And then you got to put time into painting, prepping, rebuilding, greasing, buying, waiting for parts, everything. It's a long process, so if you don't want to rush it, it's taken Brandon 6 months, like you said, just to get to this stage, and they're pretty much ready. We're all ready to go into the car.
So yeah, the only thing I'm waiting, well, I haven't ordered yet, manual locking hubs, and they're pretty, they're coming in a week.
But yeah, so won't be long before these get put under, which we'll film it, because this will be a big thing to do, a big job we're really trying to do as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the front housing. The rear housing is sitting behind you guys. Under me. So we won't bring it over here, can't be bothered moving it. But for the rear housing, it's very similar. Should we move it over here? Okay, so now the rear diff in front of us. This is equally as big of a job. Slightly easier though, because you don't have to deal with swivel hubs and turning and things like that. But it's been kitted out with the same Superior Engineering rear housing brace kit this time. It's still locked as well, ARB airlocked, and all new parts throughout. So have you got any tips for this one?
Same as the front, really. Again, if you know what you're doing, they're pretty simple. Get someone, professional well at all.
So in terms of pricing, this one will be slightly cheaper if you are able to find rear axles. So rear axles are the hardest things to sort of come by for these. Brandon's been looking for some for ages, got some.
We probably got them done.
Yeah, and he even ended up with some H260 axles at one point.
So if you want any disc H260 axles, let me know, because I've got stuff.
If you need some H260 axles with the discs, Brandon's your man. The axles were the hard part, but another thing is the brakes. So
that's the one thing about this, the whole conversion that I probably didn't touch. Main reason is being, they're not difficult, but they're a pain in the ass to do. You need some stupid torque setting.
Yeah, talking about rebuilding the axles. So yeah, rebuilding the axles, that's a whole thing.
Well, the rear wheel bearings.
The rear wheel bearings, yeah. So the rear wheel bearings and rebuilding the rear axles, so seals and stuff. You need to make a custom tool, which is a pipe that's essentially as long as the long side axle, plus the tool you need at the end, the big nut. I think it's like a 50 mil or 52 mil or something like that, something ridiculous. And then a 1/2 inch drive on the end, and it's gonna end up being probably this long. And you need to then torque it down when you're rebuilding it all together. It's like 400 Newton meters.
That's not, that's not, it's just it's an awkward job.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one.
And mine were pretty good. My wheel bearings are pretty rare. It's pretty rare that you do wheel bearings in them.
If you don't need it, don't do it. But sadly on my one at home, my axles, my wheel bearings are.
We might show you that.
Yeah, we'll show you that on my diff.
On the tool and I think it's Sidetracked.
Sidetracked, yeah, Sidetracked.
Now, I've pretty much front and rear have copied his rebuild series.
Yeah, in the description of this video, I'll leave a link to Sidetracked's channel and the 2 videos linking to his diff builds front and rear. He goes through all in depth of getting to this stage and installing the car. Of course, we didn't film any of this getting ready because it's brand new. He's been working after work and I can't come here every single day. We'll only be showing you installation.
Brakes is another thing that he's done, and again, I've followed his series on them as well. He does a great job in depth. It's hard to stuff up when you're following someone like that.
Exactly. And another thing with the brakes, on the GUs, the rears, the TB48 brakes use a different bracket, different rotor, and a different rotor?
Yeah, bigger.
Yeah, they use a different rotor, a different mounting bracket, and a different
assembly mount thingy or
So if you're looking at buying axles and housing, if you're going to upgrade to TB48 brakes, I'd still use the factory Nissan axle.
Yeah, you just got to essentially got to find H233 axles to suit a TB48.
So if you have a TD, ZD, any of the other variants, you will just be using the regular ones that we have here. And of course, in the future, if you want to upgrade to the TB48 brakes, I think Bendix do a kit, the 4-drive brake upgrade. I'm pretty sure they upgrade to TB48 brakes and they come with an adapter bracket over here. So you wouldn't have to worry about buying new axles or anything. Moving on from brakes, go into the diff center. Anything different from the front for installing the locker, or is it pretty much the same?
Same sort of process.
How about for backlash? Are they both the same?
Same specs.
Same specs.
Same specs.
So you're looking for between, is it 0.20 and so your backlash, you're looking at 0.15 or 0.20. That's sort of the range you want for your diff. So for time, hours into just a rear diff, what would you say?
Same.
Virtually the same.
It's hard to put a time on it, considering I've back and forth on both.
Yeah, so we'll just label it for, let's say if you're doing bits after work, you're going to look at around for 6 months to build a front and rear, depending how much effort you're putting into rebuilding them. It all comes, there's a lot of factors. It depends on how much you're actually doing to the diff, so you might not be bracing them. A lot of people just like to do the pumpkin guard there, which is, of course, that'll be done in a couple hours, and the rest they might just refurbish the parts, so you might have it done in a month, both of them in the car. But if you're going to this level of complete rebuild, which we'd both recommend, if you're doing it, do it once, do it properly.
Yeah. So
around 6 months you're looking for. And for pricing, the rear diff, you're looking once again about $2.5 grand, $2 grand for that, from brand new brakes, rotors and calipers, caliper rebuild kits, new nuts, bolts, everything. And then probably, another $2 grand for the locker itself as well. So around 4 for the rear.
Yeah, 17.
Yeah,
700-800.
Yeah, so around 3 to 4 grand in total. So that puts a price for about both the diffs. What are you, about 5-6 grand?
Yeah, unfortunately.
About 6 grand But remember, this is including lockers as well. So if you went
And
off to,
not time.
and not time.
So-
Yeah. If you got someone you like
If you were to do it
a
yourself,
licensed mechanic or diff builder, it would probably cost you
a lot more.
a lot more. You might be looking around the 10 grand range for someone else to be doing it for you, or if you're getting a mate to do it, it might cost you a couple of cases of beer. So that's all right. If you're doing it yourself with twin locks as is, racing, brand new everything, you're gonna look around the 6 to 7 grand mark. If you choose not to lock it, well, a bit cheaper, 4 grand around. So yeah, it's definitely a mod you gotta save up for and really think about if you want to do it or not. It's a lot of money to throw away. But yeah, so is there any last tips you want to give?
When buying housings, check if they're straight.
Then how do we check if they're straight?
Buy an angle find. You can go and do like any tool shop. What you want to do is the flange of the diff. Make sure they're 90 degrees. You can check your both your flanges on the outside. If they're doing that, you're most likely got a bent diff. So there should be 0.
Yeah.
And also check your camber.
Yeah. If you're reading around 0.01 to 0.02, that's pretty.
I think
normal.
the tolerance I read up was 0.4 is your max.
0.4.
0.4. Anything outside of that, you're going to start running into some issues. Probably your axles, you probably start shearing axles.
Yeah. So
wearing parts and your locker. You probably throw your locker out and it's a lot of money.
It's not worth it. Just check. Just take 5 seconds. Angle finders are cheap if you don't already have one. Just get one and chuck it on the ends.
I think they'll
test it out.
$100 for the smaller variant.
Yeah, so they're not much money to spend that can save you thousands later down track. So yeah, so with that, that's pretty much the bit of a breakdown on GE diffs. So if you're looking to do this job, you got your price there, your hours, sort of what's been done, what you're looking in for, little tips and tricks. If you've got any other questions about building the diffs or parts, part numbers, anything like that, leave a comment down below and either me or I'll get Brandon to give you guys a reply and any information you need. And anything else that we don't know the answer to, we may be able to send you in the direction where you can get some forum or anything like that. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Hopefully these helped you out when you're going to decide whether or not to do this job or not. And if you learned anything, that's good. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, and see you all in a couple of weeks. So yeah.